We are currently at the WordPress dashboard. On the left-hand side, you will see a menu. In that menu, click on the plugins. The plugins will be highlighted in the menu and will be shown the plugin you have installed so far. Now click Add New and type in the search plugin W3 Total Cached and hit Enter. The W3 Total Cache appeared on a page of search result. Then click the Install Now to start installing the plugin. Then click Activate Plugin. Once the plugin has been activated, scroll to the bottom and locate the W3 Total Cached plugin and click on the settings. The W3 Total Cached dashboard appeared. Here we can configure various options for W3 Total Cache. First, we want to look at the General options. Under the General options, so for testing purposes, I click on the checkbox, toggle all caching tapes on or off at once. Notice the page cache has been automatically enabled. The Magnify has been enabled. The database cache has been enabled. The object cache has been enabled. The browser cache has been enabled. The CDN has been enabled. The reverse proxy has been enabled. And the monitoring New Relic has been enabled too. So basically, what we want to do is to go and enable each cache options by ourselves. This way, because there are some options that we probably not going to use, such as the CDN options and the New Relic options. So I am going to uncheck the toggle all caching tapes on or off at once. Next, we want to look at the page cached. We want to enable the page cached. Basically, paging cache. Basically, caching the page will reduce the response time of your site and increase the scale of your web server. And the page cache method is disk enhanced, since most of our website resided on the shared server. So the default option is disk enhanced. Next, Minify. By enabling Minify, what Minify is that it reduces the load time by decreasing the size and the number of CSS and JavaScript files, automatically removed unnecessary data from CSS, JS, feed, page, and post HTML. So what is unnecessary data? Basically, in your code, such as the HTML code, the CSS code, the JavaScript file, there are extra spaces. That's what it does. It removes the extra spaces, and it compress your files. So do we want to minify do we want to turn on the minify options? Yes, we want to turn on the minify. Basically, by enable minify, what it does is it decreases the file size of the HTML, CSS, the JS, and the feeds respectively by 10% on an average. And the minify mode, I would put it on automatic. And the minify cache method, we want to select disk. And the HTML minifier set it as default, and the JS minifier set as default, and the CSS minifier set as default. Next. Next. Then we want to enable the database cached. And the database cache method is disk. And then we want to enable the object cache. Then we want to enable the object cache. By enabling the object cache, it increases the performance for high dynamic sites that use the object cache API. So by default, just enable it. Then we want to enable the browser cached. Basically, what it does, it also decreases the response time by using the cache available in the site visitor web browsers. Then we want to enable the browsers cached. The browser cached reduces the response time by using the cache available in site visitor web browsers. Basically, what it does is the first time you come to visit the website, it downloaded the CSS page, the images, and all the necessary information and stored it on your web browsers, cached. So when you return again without clearing your web browser cache, your page loads very fast. Next, for the monitoring option, should we enable the New Relic or should we not enable the New Relic? Before we decide to enable the New Relic or not to enable the New Relic, first let's find out what is New Relic. New Relic is a web application performance services that integrate with your website. Its purposes is to let you see your web performance data such as web browsers, response time, browser type, user geographic location, tracking the database queries, etc. It is a third-party services. So in order to enable the New Relic, one must have an account. So for testing purposes, I will not enable the New Relic. Next, I want to talk about CDN. What is CDN and how does CDN work? Basically, CDN is a content delivery network. CDN utilize technology standardized like Anycast and BGP to transmit the static content files from your web host server to a network of servers that are distributed at different geographic locations around the world. Caching the contents of the files to each server at a different locations. When the user's browser requests a static file that is linked to a CDN, the CDN redirects the request from originating site server to a point of presence that is closest to the users. For example, if I'm in Chicago and I am looking at a website and I request a page, the places closest to Chicago, probably Buffalo or New York. So the purpose is the user proximity to the web server's impact on load time. The closer the CDN server is to where the user is, the faster the site loads for them. That is what CDN is. So unless we have purchased the account from Max CDN, we would not enable this feature. So we leave it blank. And for reverse proxies, I leave it blank as well. Next, for the miscellaneous options, I would leave it by default. For the debug options, I leave everything unchecked. Next, for import-export settings, after your setting, you save your file. You could export the configuration by click on the download button, or you have an existing setting somewhere resided on your computer, you could choose to import the configurations. So I'll leave everything as is, and I'll click on Save All Settings. Once the W3 TotalCast options configured, now you will notice that your website will load under 2 seconds, sometimes less. Thank you very much for watching this course. And I really appreciate the opportunity for guiding you through this course. If you have any questions, please post them on the course discussion page.